A show that burned fast and bright, but as big as it got, it had equal amounts of tragedy. Y2 Heyday Nostalgia this week is looking back on Glee. Courts, were you into Glee?
Never watched a single episode.
Never watched a single episode.
Could not. It was so cringy to me.
You don't like people who are like living their life in a show and then they start singing.
Yeah, like that doesn't happen. Get over yourself, you know? Like
yeah.
you're just not going to break out in song.
You have grown a lot since we met. You have been to musicals and you have enjoyed musicals. But this is obviously not...
Hey. I don't mind musicals. I don't mind a stage musical, okay? I'm not gagging to go to them or anything, but I'll watch them. And, like, I loved Grease.
Right.
Like, game changer for me. But, like... these shows where they're is it a musical or is it not? Do you know what I mean? Like they break out into song, but they've also got like, whereas Grease was a musical from the start.
Right. Yeah, I guess I get what you're saying. This is very much a high school drama.
It's like, okay. Do you know when I stopped watching Riverdale was when they did a fucking musical episode? I went, oh, cool, I'm out now. I'm done.
I think a lot of other people were out with
me.
Riverdale way before that. But I'm glad that you stuck with it so long because you were obsessed with Betty and Jughead. In fact, I wonder what your eldest daughter's name is. So with Glee, the pilot episode, it was broadcast on May 19, 2009, and that's where we're headed back to. If you don't know what Y2 Heyday is, it's all about nostalgia, 2000s. This is 2009, and this is the week that it would have launched. Now, the first season actually premiered later that year. So the pilot aired on May 19, and then the rest of the season, I don't even understand how American TV works, but the rest of the season didn't air until September 9 later that year. And it was written by Ian Brennan, who was the creator and writer. He also wrote Scream Queens and later on that Ed Gein story. Remember that monster? He wrote that as well.
Yeah.
But he conceived the idea of Glee, which just like what an interesting mind to live in. He's got.
I know that's why instantly I was like, well, really? Because I know it's got to do with Ryan
Murphy
as well, but like the range,
real range.
Interesting range.
So Glee was actually based on his own experience as a member of the Prospect High School show choir, and originally. Would you believe that I was in the choir?
Yes.
It's weird that you believe that. I was. So it's no trickery here. I did. He also, Ian, thought I did it. Ian thought it was going to be a film. He wrote it as a film first. So it wasn't going to be a series. And it actually started as a much darker idea. So it wasn't meant to be
more Ed Gein-y.
Yeah, well, I don't know about like serial killer wearing people's faces, but I mean like it was definitely going to be a lot darker. It was certainly not a TV show. It was very cynical. Then Mike Novak, who was a television producer and also friend of Brennan's, he went to the same gym as Ryan Murphy, and he gave him a copy of the script. So deals have been done in the gym, guys, and.
This is so random.
I know. I didn't know any of this. I watched the show. I didn't watch like the last season. I really dipped out. And I think a lot of people did given the numbers. But the pilot really, it wanted us to not stop believing, guys. It told us certainly don't stop believing. And this song, fucking Jesus Christ. This song, I don't know if I can ever hear it again.
I'd like to take over Glee Club.
You want to captain the Titanic too?
Will Schuester had a dream.
I think I can make it great again.
We suck.
But some dreams sound better than others.
I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to have to start working late.
Well, I'm on my feet 4 hours a day, 3 times a week. Now I have to go home and I have to cook dinner for myself.
High school is a caste system. Kids fall into certain slots. Your jocks and your popular kids up in the penthouse.
You're sloppy, baby! It's just disgraceful!
Where do the Glee kids lie?
Sub-basement.
So this is supposed to be our competition, but I honestly don't think that they've got the talent that we've got.
It's trying to make me go to rehab, and I said no. I'd rather be at home with Ray.
We're doomed.
Oh,
Glee Club needs guys.
The only life worth living is one that you're really passionate about.
I can't believe you're helping out this loser.
Don't you get it, man? You can't win without me, and neither can they.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world.
You might laugh because every time I sign my name, I put a gold star after it. But my gold stars are a metaphor for me being a star.
Just a city boy,
You stole my quarterback.
born and raised in South.
I don't want to be the guy that just drives around throwing eggs at people.
That was you?
Don't stop believing.
Being a part of something special makes you special, right?
Let your little Glee kids have their club, but don't pretend any of them are something they're not.
Don't stop.
It's genius.
So it did remind me. I also loved Pitch Perfect. So I don't know why, but there's some shows I just won't watch that are.
Isn't that
musicals.
weird?
Maybe it's shows. Maybe it's a. But
It's a
that
TV thing, maybe.
it looked so cringy. We are doomed.
Well, that wasn't a great line.
You would
That
not
wasn't-
talk like that.
That's
Like,
not
yeah, and then the other guy.
I think she had a
you've
stutter.
gotta-
I think from memory, I think she had a bit of a stutter.
Oh,
But
okay.
it
Well, now I
wasn't-
feel bad.
No, but
anyway,
I don't think she
Jane
had a
Lynch is
stutter in real
hilarious.
life. Jane Lynch was hilarious.
Okay.
And she
She's
was very
funny.
evil in the show.
She's always great.
And
And
that
Leah Michelle can sing. Girl can sing.
girl can sing.
Like,
And
that was unbelievable.
it also kind of felt like Rachel Berry, the character, wasn't too far removed from her. You know what I mean? Like she was.
What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean? What are you trying to say
There
about
were a lot of
Leah
rumors
Michelle?
that she was a
I'm
bit of a
just
bitch.
asking you.
There was a lot of rumors that she was a bit of a bitch and she was
a
hard
bit
to
of a
work
bitch
with.
who can't read.
Well, she has proven that she can read. And I don't know if she couldn't back then, but she would have had to have read because she had to learn so much. I understand that, like, Tom Cruise has lines read to him, like he has someone read the script and then he read them. But maybe she has learned to read after that. But that was one of the most ridiculous rumors of this show. So that Journey song that you heard, that your parents certainly liked, and then suddenly it became your favorite song. You're like, Mum, have you heard of this song,
yeah.
this incredible new song? And your parents are like, nope, not fucking new. Obviously, so the cast, I don't even know. God, do we have time to even go through the cast? We're going to run out of time on this episode, guys. The cast itself is crazy.
Huge.
Like Leah Michelle, Cory Monteith, Chris Colfer, Amber Riley, Kevin McHale, Tina Cohen Chang. I think both of them did a podcast about Glee. Maybe they still do.
Let me guess,
Noah,
rewatching the episodes and commenting on them.
Yes. Mark's, it's big business. Mark Sailing, however you want to say it. Naya Rivera's, who played Santana. Who else we got here? Brittany Morris, who did a great Britney Spears episode, which was fucking phenomenal. Matthew Morrison is a whole thing that we need to talk about because he is so cringe, even more than the show now. Jane Lynch. Fuck, it just goes on and on. Like Darren Criss.
Yeah.
God, who else? Mike Chang was like the dancer
But
guy in it, and he had more of a thing later
It
on.
like helped a lot of these people, didn't it? These young singers become big, like Broadway stars.
A lot of people who did Broadway. So you've got someone like Jonathan Groff, who, and same with Leah Michelle. They had already done Broadway. And this was like making them a household name as opposed to just Broadway stars. And the show itself, like, it took off hot, fast, people obsessed. In Australia, and we'll talk more about this in a second, we didn't understand what a Glee Club was.
No.
We had no idea. Like, Glee was a weird name for a show, but in America, it resonated really quick. But for the cast, obviously, the rise to fame at a particular age and also the workload. So their typical weeks look like they would record the music. So the cast would record the songs before filming. Often that was like, and that means like everyone has to go in and sing these songs. Everyone. All these, and there's multiple songs per episode. That means late nights in the studio, the vocals had to be perfect. So they had to do it over and over again. Some of them, like Cory, wasn't like a trained singer. Then they had hours of choreography every day because, again, along with the songs, they all fucking danced. Then they had to block it all out. Especially the group numbers, the big group numbers, nightmare. So these days, easily 12 to 16 hours, common. And they would be longer for the big group numbers. And they always did these big, giant fucking things with all these dancers. And so huge, long days. Added to that, then the fame kicks in and it all gets out of control. So in America, Glee clubs, they're kind of just show choirs. And it's very real in the United States, especially in like high schools and colleges. Some Glee clubs, they date back like 100 plus years. And there is a bit of a competitive circuit that they kind of sort of talk about, particularly in like the Midwest,
like
Ohio.
there's Stepford here?
Yeah, I guess so. Like Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and that's where Glee's like set in that sort of area.
Right.
So 2010, so 2009 is where it sort of kicks off. It really makes a dent quick. It speaks to the tweens. The tweens are listening and they are loving, so much so that these songs chart on these songs that are just like songs that everyone's had for years.
Old songs that have been re-sung have started charting again. Maybe
get-
this is why I didn't like it, because I was 19 when it came out. So I
you're a
would have
bit
been like,
not 20 enough. Not 20 enough.
I'm not tweeny enough. Yeah.
And I was gay, so I liked
gay.
it. So
Isn't that the year you came out as well?
I think maybe it was just before it. Maybe it was just before it. People definitely knew before that. Like my mum would have said from birth, but yeah.
You knew.
The cast tours. They tour. They do like Glee shows, like live stadium shows, and
the Liam Michelle's.
all of them do
Monteith,
tours.
They were doing live shows.
Yeah, they
Wow.
tour. They tour, which is crazy. The cast apparently broke the Beatles' Hot 100 entries record in 2010, which is crazy. Also, in 2011, this is where they peaked, right? This is their peak number. It was a post-Super Bowl episode, so it's crazy that, Glee was on after the Super Bowl, but it was. And in 2011, they got 26.8 million viewers for one episode. Like that
is a lot.
And wait till you find out. Don't go anywhere until you find out exactly where they
That's
ended
more people than live in our country.
Even now?
We're up to 28 million
Are
now,
we?
I think.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So back then that
way
was like
more.
well and truly
way more. So the original in 2012, this is where the show starts to show cracks. Okay. So and there's a lot of things that happen in it. Like, let's quickly talk about the Slurpee. The Slurpee in the face. Apparently, this is like a thing that we're meant to believe that happens a lot in America. In Australia, Slurpees weren't a thing that we could easily get when we were going to school.
No.
So
no
one was getting Slurpees in the face. I don't even think anyone got their head flushed in the toilet. That was a very Australian thing, like you get your head flushed. And I think it was also
I thought
an American.
that was an American thing.
Was it? Again, maybe I just think it's Australian because I watched it from American TV
Watched so
and
much.
thought.
I don't think that was really
We didn't
happening.
have lockers.
No. I did.
Oh, she's a rich girl. Not
Hey,
until
you went to a rich boy school.
Yeah, but we still just had bags. We just had bags that just sat in an
You
area.
just threw your bags on the ground like povos.
Yep.
That is so embarrassing.
All right, Jemay, calm down. Now, this is where the crack show. So the original cast, they graduate from high school because they can't live in high school forever. And then they split the time between where they originally shot, like I think Lima was the town, and New York, where some of them moved. This is where it all gets really
big Broadway stars.
Yeah, it gets really messy and odd. Now, the show then takes another hit in 2013. Cory Monteith dies. And that's massive.
That was so sad. That was so sad.
So they obviously write it into the show as well, and there's and they kind of continue on with it. And I guess, a lot of people say that that's what Cory would have wanted, and he obviously struggled with a lot of addiction, and we'll get to the whole relationships and more on that later on. But in 2015, the finale show, it ends on March 20, 2015, and it has 2.6 million viewers.
Ooh, that's a drop.
I mean,
the fall from grace.
didn't
hey.
it like go up and then the only way was down? Like it really just burnt. I guess it was one of those things that was so novel and then everyone was in it and then everyone just got a bit sick of it. And not to mention the cost of making these shows.
And you can't, like, watching a show like that for like multiple seasons, what are you really going to do with it? Like you're just watching these same group of people sing over and over. Like there's the storylines on the side, but that's not going to be enough to hold up the fact that you have to just watch these people sing over and over. It's probably like a 2 to 3 season at best, which is maybe why I like movies.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a really tough thing with anything in a high school and then they try and leave high school. Look at One Tree Hill. We've talked about One Tree Hill before. When you try and leave high school, it's so tough. You have to maybe skip forward in time and then it just people are like, this is not what I was used to. So it's really hard to drag an audience from in a high school setting to outside of a high school setting. It just doesn't work like that. In real life, Leah Michele and Cory Monteith had a relationship, and there's a lot of there's a whole documentary about Glee, and there's specific ones about Cory as well, and a lot of people were very curious about the relationship because they seem very, very different. But they dated in real life. It was a very on-off relationship. And they were a couple in the show.
Were
and
they
were
together when he died?
I think they'd broken up at that stage. And I think obviously he had a lot of struggles with addiction, which is so sad. And in 2013, he passed away from an overdose. Now, Leah spoke about how deeply that affected her and how the cast didn't all grieve together in the way that people assumed. So I don't know exactly what that means. And I know a lot of the cast have sort of had some things to say about Leah. Also, Quinn and Puck, Diana and Mark Saling's got there's a whole thing there, but they dated briefly as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was
he's a bad guy.
Bad guy. And there was also... There was no foundation to this, but there were articles about it when I was doing some digging today that said there was a rumored, speculated relationship between Matthew Morrison, who played Schuster, the teacher, and Leah Michele.
Yeah.
So, which is a weird...
There's
definitely an age gap.
Older than her?
There's definitely an age gap, but obviously...
Which doesn't stop
legal.
people...
No, but...
yeah.
Yeah, anyway. So... The biggest thing from this show, not only did it burn hard and bright and fast and then just as quickly fizzled out, it also now has this whole thing of the Glee Curse. So there's a whole documentary, and if you love docos, even if you're not even a huge Glee fan, it's super interesting and fucking sad. So Cory Monteith, as we mentioned, died in 2013 from an accidental overdose. And... That was, and then they did the episode The Quarterback, which was a tribute to him and his character Finn. And that's when Leah Michele says that death fractured the cast relationships. Instead of it bringing people closer together, it made everyone go further apart. So, and then you've got Mark Salling or Sailing. I've heard people say it two different ways, but he died by suicide in 2018 after pleading guilty to child sexual abuse material possession, which is messed up. And then you've got the saddest story. It's so fucking sad. Naya Rivera, who played Santana in it.
Worst.
She died in 2020 in an accidental drowning. So she was out on this sort of pontoon boat, and she...
With her son, right? Her son was there?
Yeah, her son. She rescued him, and then she just got pulled under.
So sad. Yeah.
These
people are all on the same show. I kind of never really put it together that they're all on the same show.
Yeah, so the documentary
No wonder they call it the Glee Curse.
Yeah, The Price of Glee, which really leans into it, and they talk about the curse a lot, and the weird storylines and spooky things that happen during the show, and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely, if you love Glee, or even if you just love stories where you're like, how does all of this happen? They talk about it. So Let's talk about Lea Michele, just some allegations. There was some documented on-set drama. It involves Lea Michele. A bunch of her co-stars have publicly accused her of being difficult or being a bully. And now, more recently, Lea Michele has acknowledged that in the aftermath of Cory's death, she said, like I mentioned before, it fractured relationships, but now she said she's tried to grow from the past controversies. So I don't know what that means. Like, it's kind of admitting that she wasn't the best.
It's a weird way to admit that she was being a shit person after his death, but not actually like taking any blame for it in a way. Like, she's not saying, oh, it affected me in this way and I was a bad person and I would like to apologize. She's kind of like saying I was, but you should give me a pass for it.
She does have a lot of long-term friends. Like, her and Jonathan Groff have been friends for such a long time. I know they did Spring Awakening. That was like their big breakout musical together. Off Broadway and then ended up on Broadway. But they've been close forever. I don't know. Maybe she's just not for everybody. I can definitely relate to that. So, and maybe she has done some things that she's not particularly proud of. But there is this generally a narrative that a lot of people don't like her because of things that they may have read or seen. And you can kind of see it. You know what I mean? Sometimes in interviews, she's very cold. Now, talking about Glee. So the whole show, it was a cultural moment. This is why we're talking about it. And the cultural moments don't sort of end because the Glee cast, they're all on Broadway in different ways now. So Darren Criss is in a musical and play. Jonathan Groff was in this Bobby Darin thing only till recently. Matt Morrison.
He was in a little film called Frozen as well.
Oh, sure. But I'm talking about Broadway specifically. Like, Jonathan Groff's been in heaps of stuff.
Yeah.
Also, my favorite show of all time, Looking, which it's a gay show. If you've never seen it on HBO, you should absolutely watch it. It's phenomenal. And a lot of people aren't going to watch it, I know, but it's very good. They cancelled it.
Stop pushing your agenda.
I'm always going to push it. Alex is also in it. Alex, an incredible vocalist. Heather is in it as well. She played Britney in the show. So all of these, it's like people are these social videos now going, I'm collecting the Glee cast members, and they're going to all these Broadway shows to watch the Glee cast, which I think is only great for Broadway and for people to actually go and see shows that normally they wouldn't go and see. So it means that a lot of very talented people are still being very, very talented. Oh, and Lea Michele is back on Broadway in a show called Chess. So
she did something big for a while there, didn't she? A really big show.
Funny Girl.
You're laughing because I'm never gonna. Oh, Funny Girl.
Yeah.
She was Funny Girl. Yep, sure. That's quite a large.
She took over from. I can't remember her name. She was in that great
Barbara Streisand.
No, Barbara
She
Streisand.
took over from Barb's.
She would love to. I think Lea Michele would love to just hang out with Barbara. But no, Jonah Hill's sister. What is her name?
Oh, Bernie Feinstein.
Bernie or Birdie? Or is it?
Yeah.
Is it Birdie?
Bernie? I thought it was Bernie.
She was in that great movie. God, what was it called? I loved it.
Book Smart.
Book Smart. Fuck, that is a great movie. Anyway, she did it for a hot second and then Lea Michele stepped in. So that was a while ago though. So I love that she's definitely in Chess now. I mean, I don't know, guys. Broadway stuff doesn't. It doesn't really pop up on my feed.
I saw Rent for the first time like 2 years ago.
Oh, that's right. You saw Rent and you were like, wow. And I was like, yeah, been out for 3 decades at that stage, I think.
And I was like, why? It's shit.
Why did you hate it so much? Why did you hate Rent?
No,
it's because you hate gays.
I didn't hate it. I just hate gays, and you know
that's
that.
True.
And we've talked about that.
That makes sense. But that's okay. That's before you come for I hate women. So that makes sense. Clip that out of context. So we can't. We have to go because we're running out of time. But there is so much in Glee. Like when I was digging around today, the amount of things that happened in this show, the storylines, the way that it had a hold on people, and then the way that people dropped it like it was hot. Like they couldn't drop it
maybe
quick
like
quick
put
enough.
your favorite juicy Glee moment from off camera in the comments, because then we'll be able to like fully grasp the juiciness.
Or maybe
of
you
what
could just
happened.
maybe just and I'll make sure all the links show, because sometimes YouTube hides them, but just so Courts can go and enjoy all the favorite songs where they're singing and dancing. And then you'll love it. Also, is there something else that's coming up, a particular week in pop culture history that we need to follow for Y2 Heyday? Let us know in the comments below and we'll make sure that we get to it.